Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our post-match press conference following our game against FC Goa. With me is head coach Des Buckingham, who will be answering your questions. Floor is open. Please introduce yourself before asking a question.
Good evening, coach. Very good results once again. What do you think of the season so far? I mean, do you think there is room for improvement, or you have been a very excellent team, unbeaten so far? So, do you see any room for improvement in the team so far?
I'm happy with the start, but that's all it is. We're 9 games into a 20-game season. We want more than 20, and we've got a lot more work to do. I wasn't happy with the first half. I thought we were good enough to have the goals and go in with the win, but I wasn't happy with a couple of things, which we changed in the second half. But I'm very happy overall with 9 games. You know, what we've been able to do in terms of performances that have got results as well. It's not just been the results. I think they've been deserved, and the way we've played has been very, very good. But there is a lot more we need to do if we want to continue, not just getting better game by game, but we've got a way we want to do things. And I think there's a lot more work that both the staff and the players can look to do, and we'll look to address that after this short little break that we get before East Bengal.
Hypothetical question, 12 minutes, Goa were on your throat virtually, they were pushing you and your defense was seriously under pressure. But then, it's hypothetical because if you had a moment to tell the team what to do, what would you have done? What would you have told the team?
Yeah, well, I won't share what I told them at half time, but I would have liked to have told them that a little bit sooner, if the moment would have allowed me to. Goa, we know that Goa, whether the games that we've watched and the stats that we have and all the other things we have access to, we know that Goa start very well. The first 15 minutes especially, any of the 8 games, the way that they press, the way that they create chances and the way they try and score in the first 15 minutes, it's been very evident since the start of the season. So we were wary of that, and I think that was what we see this evening. We got exactly what we expected. But we got to half-time, fortunately, and we got put ourselves in a position where, although we hadn't played maybe the way that we would have wanted too often, that we were still gone in with the goal advantage at 2-1. The message to the players at half-time, we changed 2 things, one with the ball and one without. And I won't share that because, again, we may need to use it again at some point in the season. But I'm very pleased with how we coming out in the second half. We started very well. The goal came from one of the things we'd spoken about in the half-time team talk, the third goal. And then, I was very happy with how we then managed the game, both in terms of playing and also the players that then came on to firstly contribute to the performance and secondly get some more minutes into their legs.
Coach, hi. You said you couldn't share what you spoke at halftime, but I saw a little huddle after the game where you sort of delivered a speech. Could you share what was that all about?
Yeah, I told the camera guys to go away because again, I think when you hold those huddles or you hold the stuff that we talk about in the change room, I think that's where it needs to stay. It's not done for show and it's not done for any other reason than to just pass a key message or 2 on to that group. We don't play now for 15 days, so our break in the calendar, because there's we play on the 16th, so we've got nearly over 2 weeks. So the message was just to make sure that we've started well, but it's now about making sure that when we pick back up against East Bengal that we pick up where we've left off. And there was a bit more detail behind that, which the players are aware of, what they need to do in that time and what we need to do to make sure that when we approach that game, we can continue where we want to go.
Yeah, it was Emajal's 100th hero as an appearance. So how would you sum up his playing time at Mumbai City FC?
Ahmed Johor is one of the best players I've been fortunate enough to work with in my time here, both at the start and all the way through. He is one of the best professionals on the field and off of the field that has tried so hard to adapt his game to play the way we want, and that's the reason he's playing as much game time and starting the games that he is, because we know he can be a very influential player in this league and in what he's done already, but the way he's adapted his game to try and fit into our playing style, he's so open-minded to learning new things, and he tries so hard to try and do that. And I'm very happy with the performances he's had so far this season. But overall, for the 14 months, I can only can only talk him up as being one of the best professional players that I've been fortunate enough to work with.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Coach. Of course, very good performance by your team today, and you've been doing it. And we're still unbeaten. But just like if you can put yourself in a very neutral kind of a position and just look at the way Mumbai plays, a really appealing, appeasing way of the you guys play. Is that kind of something that you as a coach also want? Like not necessarily win ugly, but win, but make it look good as well.
Yeah, it's taken 14 months to get to kind of what you're seeing now, because it takes time. You can't come in and, you know, I think what people see on the TV, there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes, and learning takes time. And you know, the club here have been hugely supportive over the last 14 months to allow us, you know, what we get allows the players to be as good as they can and allows the staff to be able to deliver hopefully good sessions more often than not. But it's taken 14 months. We're now starting to see the benefit of that. Players, we don't have to do things every week so the players remember it, because we've involved them in it and they've been part of learning how we want to play and the way we want to play. They remember it, and that's the learning process. And because of that, they're able to make good decisions more consistently on the field. And I'm convinced that's what we're starting to see now, and it's important that we continue seeing that from them in the final 11 league games.
Just another follow-up. It's like it's 14 months, so it's obviously a long time, and right now we're almost roughly midway through the season, and you're still unbeaten. Is the thought slightly coming into your head that maybe an unbeaten season, at least in the group stage?
No. I've just been asked that on the TV as well. No is the answer. It's pleasing, like I said, the results are very pleasing, but for me it's about how we set our teams up. We've got a way that we want to play here at Mumbai. We've got a way that we want to play in the City Football Group style, but more so for Mumbai. And we need to adapt that to suit the players that we have in the Indian landscape and football landscape. But again, it's making sure that we take every single game at a time. East Bengal away, we know we'll be challenging. We played them in the Durand Cup and they beat us 4-3. So we'll be making sure we're ready for that, and then we'll see where we go.
Coach, one slightly offbeat question. This is the World Cup season as well. So how much do you guys sort of follow it collectively as a group? Do you like watch matches and sort of just soak in the experience of watching it together? How's it?
If you'd have been in our hotel last night, I invited the staff up to my hotel room, and I pulled the TV from the bedroom into the living area. We had the double screen on because we've got an Australian strength and conditioning coach in Danny Deegan, and he was very keen to watch Australia against Denmark, so we had that on one screen, and then we had France against Tunisia on the other, because that was the other game in the group that kicked off at the same time. So at the end of the game, we had a very excitable Australian because Australia went through, so he was very pleased. We also had a very excited Argentinian this morning in Diaz, and even Fall, I heard him scream from his room when Senegal scored their winner and went through as well. So overall, yes, to answer your question, it is being watched most evenings, and the pleasing thing is we've got a lot of players here from those countries that, you know, make it a bit more interesting as well.
Coach, just a couple of questions to sign off. Some really pretty goals being scored today. Obviously, Noguera getting the icing on the cake. A word on the goals and how they've been coming.
I think there's 27 goals in 9 games. It's very, very pleasing, obviously. It's something that we've spoken about. We want to be a possession-based team, but I've spoken about us being an attacking-minded team that want to go out and score more goals than the opposition. What I'm really pleased with is, yes, there's different goal contributions in terms of players. We've got many different ways now to score goals, but it's making sure that we also don't concede at the other end, and that for me so far has been a big pleasing thing to see from the change of last year, how much more defensively solid we have been in the 9 games, and we'll need to be if we want to go and be successful this year.
And just to sign off, Coach, a word on the atmosphere once again at the arena.
I think they're still out there. They're still out there cheering the players in. I've said this many times. I think for those that are fortunate to come here and experience a match day, you know, we know we're not the biggest capacity, and we know maybe we don't have the most fans in terms of turning up to the stadium and watching. But for those that do, the last 4 games in particular, the atmosphere, because of the closeness of the fans to the pitch, spills onto the pitch, and you feel it. You feel it, the players feel it, and the coaching staff certainly feel it, because they don't stop all the way through the game. And even the Goa fans tonight, they were the same. So I think it's a different experience and a very special one when people come here. And hopefully, if we keep playing the way that we are and keep picking up results, we'll see this place packed out for the last 5 or 6 home games.
Any further questions? Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.